Hey, Money Magnets, I'm your host, Dr. Amanda, and if you're a coach, entrepreneur, or service-based business owner, you're in the right place to learn practical, actionable law of attraction strategies that will help you grow your business after you focus on growing yourself. Remember, your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. If you don't like what you're getting on the outside, you've got to change what's within. So I'm always bringing you, first and foremost, energetic shifts, mindset reframes, things that are going to help you get aligned in your state of being before you take action, because then when you take action, you're going to get better results. Today, in this episode, we're going to deep dive into how to manifest more freedom and success by focusing on two key areas. We're going to think about in quarter 3, some mindset shifts for success, and then how you can use those for quarter 4 to expand your financial freedom. I'm going to walk you through some real life stories and actionable strategies that can help you transform the way you approach your business using law of attraction principles. Plus, you're going to get clear action steps after each story, and then journaling questions at the very end to help you review quarter 3 so that you can step into quarter 4 more powerfully to get what you want. So let's start with some stories. Let's focus first on mindset shifts and the power of releasing limiting beliefs. So first, you wouldn't need to release limiting beliefs if you didn't have them. And it's super common to have limiting beliefs. In fact, we are wired to think negatively to protect ourselves. Remember, there's a negativity bias that causes you to remember negative things 8 times more easily than positive things. So when we're starting a business or we're growing a business, it's really automatic for us to look at the negative to protect ourselves, especially because in entrepreneurship, finances are attached to business growth, and money is what makes us feel like we have security or are in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, your brain wants to go to the negative to prepare for a future of destruction because, you might go hungry. And so all of this is playing out in your mind when you aren't getting the success that you want at whatever level you choose. It might be that you have a ton of success, but you're worried about the next paycheck or the next income. And so you're in this state of limited thinking, fears. Your energetic system is setting you up to have that mindset of there's never enough. And if you have this, no matter what level of business you're in, you're always going to be pushing away success because you have self-doubt operating in the background. You have money doubts, money fears operating in the background. Here's a story of a client that I worked with who felt completely stuck. Let's just call her Sarah. She was trapped in a belief that she wasn't good enough to scale her business. Every time she made progress, she'd sabotage because she didn't really believe she deserved it. So even when she got to those markers where she had set for herself, she didn't think she was good enough. So she'd sabotage and go back down to this place where she felt like, okay, I can handle this level of success. So we worked on releasing her limiting beliefs, aligning her thoughts, getting her energetic system to be able to up-level her vibrational frequency so that when she had more success, it matched her frequency. So remember, anytime you don't have a match frequency to success, you're going to sabotage to get back to the frequency that's the most comfortable for you. So you've got to change your entire approach. And this requires daily focused attention on your mindset, on your energetic frequency, visualizing the success and seeing yourself being able to sustain it through matching that frequency instead of doing a pattern of sabotage. And so when you do this, you're going to be able to land those higher profile clients, bring in bigger accounts, feel more powerful in your business. And so let's say this was quarter 3 for you. And in quarter 3 of this year, which, we're at the very end of quarter 3 right now, moving into quarter 4, let's say this was you. Well, now what you're going to do today is to start to shift your mindset so that you can get rid of old negative patterns and practice refocusing toward having an up-leveled state of being. What this takes is you deciding first that you're ready to change, okay? So your action steps, if self-doubt or limiting beliefs have been operating in the background for you during quarter 3, You're going to decide, I am willing to do what it takes to up-level my energy. I'm going to take action on that, and I'm going to watch it change over the course of quarter 4. Now, remember, I want you to be aware of this. This is really an interesting thing that happens when you start to change. It gets harder at first. Think of it like a food detox. Let's say that you've been eating not very healthy and you decide, I'm going to do a 30-day detox and I'm going to eat really healthy and exercise more. Well, what happens? In that first week that you start doing the detox, you feel horrible because you bring to the surface all of the junk that you've been eating to clear out of your body. If you were to stop right then, you'd never get past that point. It's the exact same thing with energy stuckness and energy gunk and a buildup of limiting beliefs. If you start to shift toward the positive, at first it feels really good for a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden you hit this block of energy that's starting to come up and it gets hard and you feel broken down and you feel more negative than you did before and you think, why am I even doing this? Should I just stop? And that's the critical moment where you must decide to continue on so that you can change your vibrational frequency. Otherwise, you're going to stay stuck in the past forever. So be willing to sit in the pain of it. Be willing to know that that's the process of the upward spiral growth curve. You've got to go through the down to get to the next evolution of the up for yourself. So stay in the game, stay committed. And as you're doing this, the clear and focused action steps, you want to use things like EFT tapping. If you don't know about that, type into the search for my podcast EFT, and there's a really great episode on it. I use affirmantras. Type in affirmantras, and I spell that affirm, AFFIR, and then mantras, MANTRAS. So just type in affirmantras. You'll see a ton of good episodes there. And practice. Those are 2 easy ways. You want to start reading everything you can about mindset. You want to binge listen to all the episodes on this podcast. You want to read Law of Attraction books. You want to start watching TV that's inspiring to you. Let's say Gaia is a really cool form of TV. You could, get a subscription on YouTube that removes the ads. It's like $15 a month, and you could start typing into YouTube for your nightly television and watch inspiring videos. I mean, these are just some really simple things to do, but if you don't start saturating your brain with new ways of thinking and being, you're never going to change. And so to break through your limited beliefs, you've got to start to think differently. So those are some action steps you can take. Of course, I've got a ton of great resources. You know about my LawOfAttractionForBusiness.school and also my book, I Am a Money Magnet book.com. Those are other great resources. The trick is that you want to be doing this daily, because repetition is what changes you. And if you don't recommit daily, when you start to have that down part that feels bad and you start questioning, especially if you're already a self-doubter, you're going to doubt even more when you start to change and you start to have this more negativity come up. You're going to doubt whether what you're doing is working. Don't get stuck in this cycle. Otherwise, you will never change and break through. If you do stay committed and you keep on it, I promise you, you will be shocked by at the end of quarter 4 how different you feel. And then you've really set yourself up for success in 2025 and beyond whenever you're listening to this, right? So the trick here is to stay focused on daily growth, and particularly in your energetic state of being, your mindset. When you start to do that, you will start to take different actions, because action is evidence of belief. When you start to change your beliefs, your actions will change. So that's how you play with combating limiting beliefs and releasing them. One of my favorite affirmantras is, I am willing to release resistance. You could say, I am willing to release my limiting beliefs. I let go of limiting beliefs. I release resistance now. I am committed to releasing my resistance. I am ready and willing to uplevel my vibrational frequency. I let go of the conscious and unconscious blocks that are holding me back from my success. I release sabotage problems. I release the stuck energy that's keeping me playing small. So that's how I do it in my mind when I'm playing with these. I just say those things until I feel a shift in my energy, and then I go on with my day. And then you notice, oh, I don't have as many limiting beliefs. And then a month later, you notice I'm really starting to think in a more positive way more regularly. And then in 2 months, you start to notice more clients and more opportunities coming your way. And then in 3 months, you look back and you think, whoa, I don't even have limiting beliefs every single day anymore. How awesome is that? But notice it took some time. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a habit in your brain to have a limiting belief perspective. So you've got to retrain your brain in a new direction. Okay, let's play with story number 2 now, staying resilient through setbacks. Have you ever had a setback as an entrepreneur? It's almost laughable, right? If you've been in the game for a while, you've definitely had setbacks, because entrepreneurship is a spiritual growth path that's going to bring every single thing up inside of you for you to face, for you to grow. If you think about career trajectories or building a business, this is a huge evolutionary path that we pay attention to for hours every single day. So it's impossible that it wouldn't be a part of your life that refines you and shapes you and you interact with all the time. And so setbacks are part of the growth process. Setbacks are what show you what you want. If you think about the law of contrast, it is showing you what you do and don't want. So you couldn't know what you want if you don't experience what you don't want. And a setback is something that shows you what you do want. And the only way that you're going to grow through the setback is to recognize it and decide to be resilient. And resilience doesn't mean that you keep playing out the same thing over and over again because you're tough. Resilience means that you stay committed to your long-term growth and you commit to getting better and better and better each and every day. So meet David. During quarter 3, David was full of challenges. So he lost a major client and then faced cash flow issues. But instead of focusing on what was going wrong, David decided to focus on what he chooses to create or what he wants to create. He started practicing reframes toward daily gratitude, appreciation. So even when things got challenging and there were setbacks, he kept visualizing what he chooses to create so that his business can flourish. So eventually this resilience paid off because new opportunities started flowing in. And by the end of quarter 3, he had replaced the last client with 3 new ones. The key is that he stayed aligned with his vision even through the hard times. Now, does this sound recognizable to you? Have you ever decided what you want? You had some setbacks, but you pivoted your energy, you pivoted what you were feeling and thinking, and then different results happened, better than you even expected. But think about if David hadn't done this and he let the self-doubt take over and he didn't stay committed to the resilience through the setbacks, then he would be on a downward spiral curve. Things would fall apart and he wouldn't feel good about his day or his business or what he was creating. That would mean he was focusing more on the problems than on the vision that he chooses to create. So what's critical here is that you think about how every setback is a setup for success. Every setback is giving you information about what you do want. And when you stay committed to the long term, you will notice that the setbacks become these almost fun challenges where you go, ooh, all right, this is what's happening in my world now. How am I going to use this as a stepping stone to what's on the way? And you don't think about those setbacks as in the way, you think about them as stepping stones to the next evolution of yourself and your business. You stay focused on the ultimate goal and you keep your mindset positive, and then the universe responds knowing, oh, you're serious. You really want this. Okay, I'll keep bringing you more and more opportunities. And so how to stay resilient in these times. One thing I really love is a benefits list. So you write down what's the benefit of blank, and it could be your vision. So get really clear on what your vision is. Why are you doing this business? Why do you care about helping people? How do you choose to serve people in the world? What's your long-term vision of creating a successful business? Get clear on that and then write your benefits. How does it benefit me to take action today and get this vision? What are the benefits of building a successful business? What are the benefits of fulfilling my vision? And you just start writing as many benefits as you can, and you notice yourself choosing to be connected and committed to your long-term vision instead of spiraling down into that doubt and fear and limiting belief and lack of action problem. So we procrastinate when we're in fear. We procrastinate when our vision isn't aligned. We procrastinate when we have a lot of limiting beliefs. So in order to stay resilient and stay committed, you've got to stay focused on the vision. And Another thing that's really useful here as an action step to stay resilient is to look back at a tough time that you've had in your life or your business and notice all of the wins that happened after that tough time. So to do this, you want to go back to something that's happened quite a while ago where it's already played out completely, and you can see the benefits of the thing that happened instead of being stuck in it. When you're in the middle of it, sometimes it's hard to see that you're going to be on that next evolutionary upward spiral growth trajectory because you're stuck in the weeds and all you see is the problems. So you're going to want to look way back and think of something really hard that happened that at the time you didn't know it was going to be the most awesome thing that ever happened to you. And then later you go, wow, I'm so grateful that that happened because here I am now and I wouldn't be where I am today if this thing hadn't happened. And then I want you to, expand your perspective even further and have this spiritual eye on what's happening right now and know that the same thing is going to happen again. Whatever you're in right now is going to lead you to the next evolution of yourself, as long as you have this mindset where you know that setbacks are opportunities. Some of you have never seen me in person or in a video. You might not know I have spiral tattoos and I wear spiral earrings and spiral rings, always to remind myself of this, that life is a process of growth on an upward spiral trajectory or downward. If you're in victim mindset and blaming other people, you're going to be in a downward spiral trajectory. When you are using law of attraction principles to experience expansion, you are going to be on an upward spiral growth trajectory because you are going to know that the law of contrast on that downward part of the spiral is helping you get to the next bigger evolution of yourself. And so my spirals always remind me, when I'm on a down, I stay committed to my long-term growth, knowing that this down is helping me get to the next awesome up. And what's wild is that when you do more and more of this type of work by changing your state of being and understanding that we are made of energy and that it's our energy that creates our reality, then you focus daily on up-leveling your energetic vibe first before you take action, because then you know that the results are going to lead to better and better things over time. And it does take time to reprogram yourself. If you've been on a downward trajectory for a while, you've got to stop the momentum in that direction and start to reframe your energy and then move it in a new direction to build new momentum on the upward spiral growth path. So don't think it's going to happen overnight. That is an unrealistic expectation. We don't go from feeling like crap and hating everything to all of a sudden everything is awesome with one thought shift. You can have that thought shift that starts to help you change the direction, but it takes time to build momentum in the new direction to get the new results. So don't give up too soon. Don't give up ever, actually. Stay committed to you being the deliberate creator of your reality and creating a life and business that you absolutely love. All right, let's play with Q4, expanding financial freedom. So I'm going to give you some journaling questions at the end of this, and you're going to be thinking about how you spent time and energy and money in Q3 so that you can decide what you want to reframe or change to get better results in Q4. And we're focusing our next few stories on what we want in Q4, which I'm focusing on expanding your financial freedom. So to do that, you've got to manifest a wealth mindset. And I like to think of this as wealth consciousness. So wealth consciousness looks like you having a vibrational frequency that's set to wealth consciousness. And so you've got to start to question, what does wealth feel like? What does it feel like in my state of being? What do wealthy people think about? How do wealthy people act? What is their belief system? How do they view the world? What are their perceptions of life and work and money and relationships and health and well-being and spirituality? And then you get matched with that energy and then you attract it to you. So it's not that you attract wealth through hard work, you attract wealth through your aligned state of being, and then the work that you do or the actions that you take to match that wealth consciousness feel good. So you will know when you're in a state of wealth consciousness when life feels relaxed, feels flowing, your health is just aligned. You feel amazing when you wake up and you're taking care of your body. Your relationships are at a 10. You have a high quality of life. Your spiritual life is in alignment. Your friendships are in alignment. Your business is growing and flowing, and you look forward to waking up to do your purpose in the world and get paid for it. That's wealth consciousness. I think about this as a holistic identity, a holistic state of being that's helping you take it to the next level, because you first and foremost are in the state of wealth consciousness. You attract it to you, and it just keeps growing and growing, and it just keeps getting better and better and better. So let's play with a story so you can see what it would feel like and look like to manifest a wealth consciousness mindset. Meet Mike, a business owner who had always struggled with money. Is this you? Do you struggle with money? Have you struggled with money? Whether it's feeling good about the way you make money, or whether it's feeling good about the way you have built your net worth, or how much you have in the bank, you really want to question here, how do I feel about money? So Mike struggled with money, and he grew up hearing things like money doesn't grow on trees, and believing that financial success was always out of reach. So there was always just enough money, but never in abundance. And after learning to shift his mindset to focus on abundance, Mike began to visualize and affirm that financial freedom was not only possible, but inevitable. So he implemented certain strategies to align his business with higher paying clients, and was able to scale his services, doubling his income in Q4. Now, I've had this happen for so many clients where we shift their mindset around their money beliefs by writing a money story, and then they double their income very quickly. I've had someone do it in a week before. So this is really powerful stuff, because it starts with your belief system. And all of us are programmed with money beliefs, starting from a very, 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 very young age. Before you can even remember, even in utero, you started to get downloads of information from your parents, the environment that you were awash in and growing in, right? And so you are soaking up everything that's happening around you, and it's starting to program you for a certain way of thinking and feeling and believing about money. And so there's nothing wrong with this. It's just that if it's not beliefs and feelings and thoughts that you choose and consciously have decided that you want to keep, you're going to keep running those stories, and that's what's going to keep creating your money reality until you decide to first really visualize and affirm that there's a possibility of something different, reprogram your beliefs, and then you can shift in a new direction. It's really what I started my whole business from, was doing a wealth building mastermind with other people who are interested in building their wealth. It was really cool. I was on food stamps myself, and I met these really amazing people in a growth workshop, and we got to talking, and I said, would you guys be interested in doing a wealth building mastermind? And they were like, sure. So I put it together and I led it, and it was amazing what happened in that group, because we started to change our money mindsets. And, this was high power people, some lawyers, there was a multimillionaire in there. There were really amazing people who we all have money blocks. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It just matters what your current state of belief is. You can be a multimillionaire, but be impoverished in your mindset and have a lot of struggles. You can be very poor in the money way and have a life that feels really aligned, if that's what you desire. It's not about the money. The money never fixes anything. The money isn't what makes you you. You are what makes you you, and then your money allows you to expand who you already are. So that worry that you're going to become a greedy jerk if you make too much money isn't accurate unless you're already a greedy jerk. Then yeah, you probably will become more of a greedy jerk. If you're an awesome person who wants to do cool things in the world, then having more money will just expand that. But remember, again, like I said, this all comes from a state of wealth consciousness, which isn't just about money in the bank. It's about a holistic picture of you vibrating at a frequency that feels good, relaxed, at peace, in joy, inspired, right? And so, when we think about this story of Mike breaking through money blocks, that's all of us. I've never met a person who doesn't have money blocks. Some people don't think they do, but when we talk, they go, oh, I didn't realize that working this hard all the time and neglecting my health is actually a money block. Because if you think about, going to work all the time and working hard to make money and neglecting other parts of your life, that's a scarcity block. You are thinking it's either or, not both and. Oh, I either make a lot of money and neglect myself, or I take care of my body and don't make enough money, right? What if it's both and? And it really is. When you have an abundant mindset, it's both and. You don't want to neglect any part of your life or business. You want to have a rating of 10 in all the areas. That's holistic wealth consciousness. And so let's play with you thinking about how your relationship with money is crucial. If you believe that money is hard to come by, it will be. If you believe that there's never going to be enough, that's what's going to keep getting recreated. If you believe that you've got to work really hard and neglect areas of your life just to get money, then that's what's going to keep getting recreated. So in order to reframe your beliefs about money, you've got to start up-leveling your money mindset. You've got to break through your money blocks so that you can have different beliefs about money. I'd say the best resource for this is my Money Magnet book. So go to IamAMoneyMagnetBook.com. IamAMoneyMagnetBook.com. You can get free chapters there. And then, of course, you're going to want to order the book. This will give you all the information you need to understand how to break through your money blocks and reprogram your money mindset. It has over 100 journaling questions in it to help you understand your current belief system about money and how to reframe them. And then next week, be sure to plug in here because I'm going to release an episode on the top 5 money mindset books to help you increase your money magnetism. So I'll give you a great list of books that you can read to help you keep up-leveling your money mindset. Remember, if you want to change yourself, then you must start to reprogram your mindset. This looks like reading, hanging out with wealthy people, going to workshops that are focused on money mindset. I want you to consider, if you aren't experiencing the money reality that you desire, how many books have you read about money mindset in the last year or two? Well, let's even say year for now. How many workshops have you gone to? How many people have you talked to about money? If you're not focusing on these things, why do you think they should grow? It's like saying, I want to have a super sleek, toned body, but you never go to the gym. Well, talking about it isn't going to get you anywhere. Wishing it was what you we're going to have isn't going to help you. You've got to actually take action on it, right? And so, this happened to me. I remember feeling so poor and impoverished and less than everyone around me. And then I went to this workshop and I was just feeling inadequate and I was crying to this coach and he said, well, where is wealth building on your values? And it wasn't on there at all. And so I thought, oh my God, you can just change your values and start focusing in a new direction and get different results. Of course, right? And so it's that simple. The path is that simple. It's not easy because most people are not willing to do what it takes to get what they want. They want to stay stuck in their old ways of being, and you're never going to get a new reality if you stay stuck in your old ways of being. You've got to break through your old reality. You've got to break through your old ways of being, your old ways of thinking, your old actions that you've been taking. And so it looks like a complete overhaul of who you are to start to get different results. And this can be scary. Don't get scared. Instead, get inspired to do what it takes to transform into the most empowered version of yourself. That is what it takes. Get inspired to transform into the most empowered version of yourself. That's my mantra I've had. If you go back to the beginning episodes of this podcast, you'll hear me say it at the end. And it's because it's my why is to inspire myself and others to transform into the most empowered versions of themselves so that they can lead rich, fulfilling, meaningful lives. And it takes me doing that because I can't lead you in that direction if I don't do it for myself first, right? So inspire, transform, empower. Inspire, transform, empower. You can do it 100%. I believe in you. I know you can do it because I've done it and I've helped lots of people do it. It is possible. It takes you deciding. You've got to decide to do it. Okay, let's play with action steps for closing out quarter 3 to get what you want in quarter 4. So here are 5 journaling questions to ask yourself. When you're finished with this episode, I highly recommend you do this right away or set a time to do this week before we start quarter 4, and just ask yourself these questions and take as much time as you need to answer them thoroughly. So question number 1, what are my wins for quarter 3? So I want you to look back at your calendar, look back at your bank account, look back at your gym routine, look back at your relationships, your money, everything, and ask myself or yourself, what are my wins for quarter 3? So write every single one of them down. I think you will be blown away. Now, of course, if you're not listening to this right at the end of the quarter, that's okay. You could go, what are my wins for the last month? And then you could start playing with using these questions just to frame yourself to know what worked, what didn't work, what your wins were, and how to focus in the next month or quarter in a way that's powerful. So if you're listening to this on the day of this release, then we're at the end of quarter 3, moving into quarter 4. But of course, you can use these questions and adapt them to whatever timeline you're on right now. So what are my wins for quarter 3? Number 2, what are my desired wins for quarter 4? So this is your goal setting part. What are your desired wins for quarter 4? Now, be realistic here in terms of it's 3 months. You're talking about 3 months of time. You're talking about the end of the year where we have holidays. For some people, this is the most lucrative time of the year in their business. And for others, this might be a downturn time. What are you going to do with that time to have it still be perpetuating growth in all the areas that you desire? So what are my desired wins for quarter 4? Get clear. Foggy targets are hard to hit. So get clear. You've got to decide with certainty and clarity what you want before you can get it, right? So get clear. What are my desired wins? Step 3, or question 3, what systems do I need to implement or reframe so I can accomplish my quarter 4 goals? So this could be a question of who do I need help from? You might be looking for an expert who to help you accomplish your goals. This could be that you need to drop certain things. So DAD your system, like you've heard me say many times, drop, automate, delegate. What do you need to drop? What do you need to automate? What do you need to delegate? What thoughts and beliefs do you need to reframe? Do you need to find anyone to help you? What systems do I need to implement or reframe so I can accomplish my goals? So get really clear there on what is going to be required in terms of resourcefulness and or letting go of things you're doing that aren't working to get to your next level of success in the next quarter. And number 4. What were my year-end goals at the beginning of the year? This one's interesting because dependent on the stage of business you're in and how many years you've been in business, your goals right now might look completely different than they did at the beginning of the year. Don't beat yourself up about this. This is a reflective practice where you're going to go back and look and see how much things have changed or how much you've accomplished. If you're in an earlier stage of business, your goals have probably changed quite a lot because you just know more now and you have a different vantage point from which to set goals. If you're 5 or 10 years into business, then you probably had very specific goals at the beginning of the year that you're on track for right now. And you'll look back and you'll go, yep, I'm on track. I set that goal and I better decide right now what I'm going to reframe to make sure that that happens because I choose to be on track, right? So what were my goals at the beginning of the year? That's question number 4. And then number 5, am I on track to accomplish them? If not, what do I need to reframe? So if you are on track, keep going. That's awesome. It's working. If you aren't on track, that's okay. What are you going to do right now to reframe your feelings, your thoughts, your actions so that you can get different results by the end of this next quarter and accomplish what you set out to accomplish in 2024? Oh yeah, you goal setting master. And really we could say you manifestation master because there's no purpose of setting goals unless you're going to manifest them, right? Goals are just a written out map for you to keep focused on the direction you choose to go. Manifesting is actualizing them. So let's say you manifestation master. All right, let's recap those last questions. Number 1, what are my wins from quarter 3? Number 2, what are my desired wins for quarter 4? Number 3, what systems do I need to implement or reframe so I can accomplish my quarter 4 goals? Number 4, what were my year-end goals at the beginning of the year? And number 5, am I on track to accomplish them? If not, what do I need to reframe? Thanks so much for tuning in today. I really am inspired and sending you all the good vibes for you to go out and manifest your next business level of success in quarter 4. Until next time, I'm sending you giant hugs and money magnet high fives.